Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're Tom, Brian and Stephen. This is NRL from the Sidelines. And as we do every time this week, we take two, we are going to talk about the round of NRL. It's this one being played. We had a bit of a technical itch, so this is a rerun of what you would have seen before. Shall we rewind? And
it was nowhere near as good. We were on fire 10 minutes ago.
Oh dear, maybe we need to get through the show very quickly because my computer's obviously getting a bit old.
Yes. All right, go.
So,
what were we talking about?
I don't know, where did we start before?
Well, the 8 has been rounded up.
Yes, we did. But you want to do your thing.
Oh, go on.
Go on,
do
Tom.
your boring bit.
Okay, so another code has started again. The NFL has come back, and my beloved Green Bay Packers had a big win today. So go Pack, go!
This might be why it crashed before.
That's right, because who cares? It was like we went to negative views.
Because now we're talking about NFL from the sidelines.
No, it's just there are a lot of people out there who also like the NFL, and it's back, which is great as well. But I love the NRL.
For a couple of months.
Oh, who cares?
16, 17 rounds.
What a joke. Anyway, continuing on.
Continuing on. So we're going to talk. We'll have a talk about the games in a minute. But I want to ask: are you happy with the 8? The 8 set was set by Cronulla.
Yeah, I think the 8's stupid. I think I want to go back to the old days of a top 5. I think there's teams in the top 8 that are just making up numbers.
How old are you?
I'm old enough to be very grey.
Do you really want to reveal that?
Oh, come on, it's ridiculous. The top 8 rewards mediocrity. You've got half the teams make it. And as we can tell by some of the games this weekend, some of the teams are just making up the numbers. Full stop.
So if a team 5 or 6 get through to the preliminary final...
As if that's ever going to happen.
Why not?
They'd have to play out of their skins better than they have all year. It absolutely rewards mediocrity. I hate it.
But isn't that the reason why your team was desperate to get into the finals?
That's right.
For the same reason?
Because they wanted to be a number.
Absolutely.
They wanted to show how mediocre they are and just be a number.
Yeah, look, it's... Obviously, I'm not a fan. That's all I have to say.
All right. You're not a fan. It is noted. I will put it in my diary to say you are not a fan.
Thank you. Please, okay. And please send that to Mr. Volandis.
I will. I'll tell him.
Yes.
So let's talk about the first game that was played on the weekend.
Yep.
Let's go to Thursday night where the Rabbitohs beat the Tigers 26-24. Narrow, tough win to the Rabbitohs. Got out to a good lead and then defended like their lives depended on it. Skill.
They just proved that they can play well for 10 to 15 minutes. Very well for 10 to 15 minutes, and that's about it.
Come on. Look, the Tigers did the same thing to Manly the other week.
Yes.
That they play really, really well in patches. Unstoppable football.
Yep.
And it's all led by their aging 5'8" Benji Marshall. Sir Benji.
Soon to be on the scrap heap.
Oh, I know. Why would you scrap him?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Like, it makes no sense.
If he's going to go around, if it's playing like that and he's going to go around one more year, surely they try to make room for him.
Anyway, that was just ridiculous. They can't get rid of him. The guy's a club legend. Like, you don't throw your club legends. Oh, actually, they've done it before. On the scrap heap. Did Benji go to the Warriors? Was it the Warriors and the Dragons and the Broncos?
And not the Warriors.
No, it was just the Dragons and the Broncos, and then back to the Tigers.
Yeah. Oh, look, if Madge had any hair, he would have pulled it all out by now. I mean, they've got so much potential at times, this team, and they just can't put it on predictably. You can't even predict 1 week from the other what they're going to do. You know, that some teams, they'll come out and blast it into the first 20 minutes and then they drop off, like a team I've known of before. But they're not unpredictable. They're unpredictable.
I don't know. Anyway, there was an incident in the game, Stephen.
Mm-hmm. There was an incident in the game, Brian, where one player, we found 11 players played 12.
Well, yeah, there was a legitimate sin bin,
and it should have been.
Well, and then Gagai threw a ball in his face. That's 3 weeks, I reckon.
He threw a ball
in his face.
Dane Gagai threw a ball
in his face. Given the shiner that Luke Brooks had, it connected well.
But
it was a good ball.
He just threw a ball. You don't get sin bin for throwing a ball.
He got it for the fracas, for the melee, for the...
He didn't do anything.
Brouhaha, that's the one.
Yeah. Brooks was the one who started throwing punches.
Yeah. And you're right. But what annoys me is that Gagai and Brooks have got the same penalty, and that's wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was. I couldn't believe that. There needs to be an investigation.
Yeah. For Rabbitohs players, you always add 1 week.
So the Bunnies showed their true potential for the premiership in this game.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Talk about making up numbers.
And you know what? It's ironic, but the Tigers are ninth.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Which is
Very sad. You got to admit, it's sad for a Tigers supporter to be sitting in ninth place.
It is.
All right, let's go on to Friday night where Manly beat the Bulldogs 32-20.
Winning covers a multitude of sins,
You
Stephen.
didn't start well.
Winning covers a multitude of
You didn't
sins.
start
The
well.
Dogs have started with like 10-0 in a few games actually, and then just lost their way.
Yeah, I'm happy that my team won. The young brigade stepped up. Morgan Harper, that's 3 tries in 2 weeks now.
Yeah, geez, he's got some skill, isn't he?
He can certainly play football. Mind you, he couldn't crack a first grade spot at the Dogs.
Yeah, but mind you don't have a lot of players left to play, so you know.
That is true. Yes.
And you know what? He came off celebrating that he wasn't another debutant who got injured. Because you seem to do that to a lot of players.
Well, yeah, no, and we lost Cade Cust for the year. He could be out for a while with another high ankle injury.
Parker and Gajewski were good.
Yeah, Gajewski, I tell you, he must take a while to get into the games because coming off the bench he doesn't play well, but starting he seems to find the rhythm of the game very quickly. And Adam Fanau-Blake also injured. Well.
Just as well you're not playing finals.
Well, Adam may play again next week, but wow. Yes, but Manly's young brigade stepping up.
Yeah.
And I just want to say we've only got one player in our back line, if at full strength, who is over the age of 22. like that's pretty impressive. Give us 3 or 4 years and we'll be right.
Tom and Garrick might be back this week. Anyway, we can talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next round.
Okay, so let's talk about the next game, which is Panthers beat Parramatta 20-2, and I've got to tell you, Parramatta never looked like scoring.
I really enjoyed this game. I thought defensively, it was a terrific defensive game. I got to say, I thought it was a pity they scored that try at the end because I actually think that 14-2 was probably a better reflection of the game. Because the Eels defended on their line. They had to.
Yeah.
Defended an enormous amount. They just had no attack. That was the problem.
But the Panthers, they were off. Like, I didn't think they played well. I didn't think this was
But
a great
I don't think
game.
the Eels allowed them to. Honestly, I don't think they did.
No,
But if you are a team that's going to win the comp, you've got to play well.
Yeah, but you've got to put on points. The problem is that they restricted their scoring for a long part of that game. And that's, I think, people are forgetting about. They've got no hope if they can't score any tries.
Well,
but
2 weeks
their
ago,
defence was
Parramatta, South beat Parramatta 38-0, and they were nowhere in defence.
Yep.
So they turned it around 2 weeks later and played the Panthers, and they had everything set for their defence. But honestly, I don't know how many times they had a tackle in Penrith's 20-metre line, but it wasn't many. It'd be 10 if the most.
I think Brad Arthur said, look, we spent a whole week on our defence. We should have spent a little bit more time on our attack. That after that game, the 38-0 game.
And just for the record, the most underrated fullback in the comp ran for 336 metres.
He was tremendous. You kept talking about him. I thought, yeah, he's okay. But geez, he was everywhere.
You know,
he was tremendous.
I think, like I said, I think he's the most underrated fullback. If you think of the best fullbacks in the game, you think, Tedesco, Tom. You know, you'd even throw the South's Buffett over there in. Not Latrell.
Yeah, I haven't played fullback for a long time.
You know, you throw those guys in. Pappenhausen,
Brimson.
And Nickel Klonkstad, Klonkstad down in Canberra.
Yeah.
You think 6 or 7 blokes. Dylan Edwards is a really good fullback.
Yeah, no, he is very good. I want to just discuss very quickly some of the stats of that game. So run meters, 1895 to 1140.
That would be in Panthers' favour.
In Panthers' favour.
Yep.
Tackles 299 Panthers, 423 to Parramatta. Missed tackles 11 to Penrith, 46. Now,
and that's because they had to do so much more.
They had to do so much more tackling.
Yeah.
And they obviously scrambled well to have 46 missed tackles and only to lose the game by 20 points. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, there's a major problem with Parramatta where they can do one but not the other, whereas the good teams can do both.
Yeah, but look, it's that ambiguous 6 again rule kept Penrith in that game. At one point when they were down,
Penrith in the game.
Kept Penrith in the game.
Yep.
Kept them controlling the game. At the point when they were 6 points up, it was 6-2.
Yep.
So in the lead up to their second try, they got 8 restarts in a row. Like, that is phenomenal.
Yep.
You're not going to win against the best sides when that kind of statistic is thrown at you.
Sure.
And just as an interesting side note, Penrith have actually gained the most 6 agains out of any team and given the least away.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's their discipline or just they've worked it out quicker than everyone else.
I think it's just their discipline. I truly do.
Anyway.
So, I mean, look, it was a good game, but Parramatta, I think, are going to struggle in the semis.
Yep.
So let's go on to Wynn Stadium on Saturday afternoon, where the Raiders beat the St George Dragons 37-8. St George were in this game for the first half.
For the first half, yes.
And Cody Ramsey, rookie, 2 touches of the ball, 2 tries.
And one called back.
And one called back. That was pretty special debut, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Are we underrating the Raiders?
Well, they played the Dragons today. They've beaten a lot of lower sides very well, but they've not gone well against against the top sides.
Well, they keep winning though.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They win.
But,
they win ugly.
But like you said yourself, when it comes down to the finals, it will sort the wheat from the chaff, as it were.
The Raiders have got a great forward pack. They've got really clever halves, quick play of the balls. Their backs just are exceptional. They're always in the game.
They are going to get a couple of players back. So, yes, I thought about this and I thought if they finish 5th, they get a home semi. They win that game, they play the loser of the top 4. They win that game and all of a sudden they're in the prelim. So, you're right. They are a side with that can on the day can win. But
they were playing St George.
They're not playing top sides at the moment. No. Yeah.
Well, St George are...
With all due respect.
Okay. I was trying to think of who St George beat last week.
And the Roosters beat them 18-6 at home. So
and that was a good game.
It was a good game.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, poor old Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, look,
if that was audition for the new coach, he's getting a whole new team.
Oh, he's getting a whole new team. Yeah, he's not putting up with that. Okay, let's go on to the other Saturday game, whereas Titans beat the Broncos 18-6.
Yep. They just keep improving, don't they, the Titans?
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, they played the Broncos, I get that, but and they're a bottom 4 side, but they just seem to be improving. And I think next year, we've talked about it with all the players they're getting, they're ripe to have a really good series next year. They're
setting up a top 8 team for next year. They won't. I don't believe they'll shake the competition, but I believe they'll be a top 8.
They'll be in the same position as Manly though. If they get injuries, they won't cover them.
No, they've got to have the depth as well, and they're putting so much money into those top players.
Yep.
They may not have the depth to cover.
Well, and just on this game, I don't think the scoreline reflected the game. Like 18-6, the Titans were a 30 point better team.
So is that the fault of the Titans, or is that congratulations to the Broncos?
Well, I think the Broncos are still muscling up in defence.
The Broncos' defence was really, really good. And just something else, I made a couple of notes about this game. I can't, it's just petty stuff. I can't stand big brother, little brother analogy. What?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh, because you put up with Manly and North Sydney for years.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Do you still call the Sharks the little brother of St George?
No, but we call the Roosters the little brother of South. And that seems to go down quite well.
Anyway,
everyone knows that.
I can't stand it.
I'm not even going to grace that.
It annoys me. And I did, just so you know, I did a little bit of homework.
You allowed it to go through.
I did a little bit of homework, all right? Because we keep saying the Broncos, it's their lack of experience.
Yep.
The players in that game had a total of 1,617 games experience. That's not an inexperienced side.
But compared to what?
Compared to anything.
Yeah, but I think if you compare to the Roosters or to Manly or to South, I think you
compare it to Manly, you'll find that it's a lot more. I don't know. Like,
well, maybe Manly.
Well, I mean, no. I mean,
the current Manly side.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had 12 players that have had over 100 games experience, and the ones that don't are Payne Haas with 40 games, Fafita with 43. Like, I mean,
Dearden, Pakes.
Yeah, well, Dearden didn't have very doesn't have a lot of
I think their experience falls upon a small few.
Yeah.
Boyd, really Opes, Staggs.
Yeah.
Isaac
Glenn,
Luke, Payne Haas, Fafita, Glenn, and all their bench.
Half their team.
Like, it's just, but you expect more. You can't keep, like, I don't know what the problem is there. They're on the nose.
They need a new coach to sweep through.
We just need the Dogs to get up next week.
So, who's the new coach for the Broncos? Who's your tip?
The talk now is that it might be Green.
Really? Because the talk was that it was going to be Kevy with Wayne.
Wayne, and I'm not sure Wayne. I don't think that's a match made in heaven.
And I tell you what, I would, if I was Kevy, I'd be running a mile from that.
Yeah, so would I.
Who knows? I don't think it's a coaching problem though. I think it's a recruitment and a board problem.
But do you really bring back a favoured son? I mean, let's have a look at Dean Pay. Let's have a look at Jason Taylor. Let's have a look at
Mary
McGregor. You know, these favoured sons. Fittler did it.
Des did it. Jeff did it.
Des has been successful though.
Yeah, I mean,
he's talking about people successful.
I don't know.
My point is, it doesn't work all the time.
Hang on. But the Broncos, you could say the Broncos are a little bit like Manly in that way, because there's an arrogance and an old boys club there, and so perhaps an old boys player would come back and make a good coach. They understand the culture, the way it works,
the
way
difference
it runs.
would be Kevy would actually surround himself with a whole lot of old boys.
You would hope.
Well, you think so. I think.
And but the old boys don't do anything for the club. They don't win games. They don't.
But look what happened with Queensland. Queensland at its heyday was because it was surrounded by old boys.
The state of origin is completely different to NRL week in, week out state of origin.
I'm not entirely convinced that it won't work. That's all. And I don't. And to be perfectly honest, unless they go outside of the box, I don't think someone like Paul Green is a great fit either.
Could you imagine 18 months' time, Walters is not performing well and having to sack him?
Oh yeah, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah,
I mean
give him a 6-year contract. That's what I'm after.
Yeah, that's what you want. All right, let's go on to the last Saturday night game where the Roosters beat the Knights 42-12, and the Knights were never in this game, gentlemen.
Nope.
Roosters blew them off the park.
Roosters scored some really good tries. It hurts me to say they scored some really good tries.
Yeah. When they're on, they are slick.
The Tedesco flick back to Keary for try 3 or 4.
That terrific.
And
even the foresight,
I turned it off after that.
But even the foresight of Kyle Flanagan to kick that ball in goal for Tedesco to gather and score, that showed a bit of maturity. It was obviously from my perspective, it was great to watch. I was surprised we didn't go on with it in the second half. I mean, it was 30-12, I think, in the first half, and it took a long time for them to score again. I mean, they left 4 or 5 tries on the park, and there were a couple that were really close to the line that could drop balls and things.
So are you saying, though, because the Roosters didn't go on with the second half, they're not really a premiership threat?
Oh, no,
I'm
not saying that.
Go on with them in the second half.
No, they're not a threat. Yeah,
well, so we didn't win by 2 points,
but we still won.
And the Knights tries were, I think,
the Tigers beat the Knights.
The Knights tries were a little bit opportunistic, I think. Compared to the way the Roosters set up their tries, two kicks. Sure, they had to be there and things. The second try, I mean, it went over everybody's heads and we didn't clean up, so I think that was ordinary.
Yeah, but I think you had a couple of opportune tries like that as well. But at the end of the day, the Knights really didn't show an awful lot. And you're right about them making up the numbers in the top 8, because I tell you what, if they don't have Ponga, they're nothing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's something not right with Mitchell Pearce. He's not right at the moment.
I'll tell you who's not right. What are you going to do with Boyd Cordner?
I don't know.
Is he retiring this year? I think he needs
I don't think so. They said that he was over the head knock. They kept him. they kept him there because of emotion. You saw him when he was standing in the sidelines.
Can I just say? I thought that was ridiculous.
They shouldn't have the camera on him the whole time.
No, grow up, Fox.
Yeah.
Fair income.
Yeah.
Like what an emotional moment. Your cousin dies. Your club honours that by wearing black armbands, as does the opposition. All that emotion there, and the camera's focused on him
for the whole time.
I just thought that was ridiculous. Grow up.
So I think they kept him off ultimately. He'll probably have another week off just to be sure. Yeah. But I think he was fine after the head knock and he came off. It was more, I think, about the emotion and stuff, and I think they decided to play it safe.
I'm worried for him, I'll be honest with you, with the amount of concussions he's getting.
And you've got to look at you've only got to look at the precedent that's been set with McManus up in Newcastle. Like, he was passed to go back. He has major concerns.
But they kept putting back very shortly. I mean, Cordner's had 6 weeks off, and they did the same thing with Keary. Keary had the same concerns, and they managed it really well. No. Now, look, you're right. You might be right. I think Cordner might need 2 or 3 weeks to get over this. He might come back in early part of the finals or something. But anyway, look,
it's not a good situation.
Can you believe Sonny Bill Williams compared to last week? He was fantastic.
Goodness. You should get on Fox.
He was fantastic.
You should get on Fox as well. Jeez, all they did was talk him up.
He played better, and he offloaded.
Oh my goodness!
His offload was terrific.
Yeah, that's right. He passed the ball. Sonny Bill Williams is back.
He played like a second. He played like another half.
Oh my goodness!
Sonny
Bill Williams made a tackle.
The try that went through the hands.
Microphone down.
Daniel Tupou, 100 tries, fantastic. The ball went through the one that went through the hands. That was a really good try, and he ran into the line and started that up.
Yeah, but you know what? So would Radley. So would
correct.
Someone like 30,
40-year-old who hasn't played for 6 months, and compared to last week, I thought it was terrific.
Let me say, compared to last week, he was
very
a lot better.
Very good.
But I don't know. I still don't think you're getting value out of him. But anyway.
Either way,
you kidding?
No.
Anyway.
I wouldn't want him personally. But
so and Orbison equaled Anthony Minicello's record of 302 games, and this week he's been told he will be playing, and he'll break the record at the SCG. Fantastic.
All right, let's go on to Sunday's game where the Storm beat the Cowboys 36-20. The Cowboys were never in this either.
Oh, they were valiant in defeat.
No, they were valiant.
Valiant in defeat.
I thought, speaking of Val was pretty good. I think
Val was pretty good.
Touches.
He probably had his best game all year.
Some good touches.
Tell you what, the Storm's big men, as in not their big names, their big men, absolutely destroyed the Cowboys.
They did. Nelson, Tino.
They tore them up.
Bromwich. Yeah.
They did. I have to say though, I'm very disappointed in McCulloch. Getting sent to the bin. Maguire, sorry. Getting sent to. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. That's not team mentality.
Well,
I talked him up last week too.
I want to know this. Adam Fennell-Blake was sin-binned for a foul-mouthed tirade against the referee.
Yep.
It was published and scrutinised and attacked, and it was after the game.
Well, it's on Fox. If you read the Fox League, they actually quoted it.
So I want to know, where's the scrutiny?
Well, they have. It's on Fox.
It's on Fox. It was on every piece of media you could possibly imagine.
It's pretty awful what he said.
Well, what he said was pretty awful too.
Yeah.
So I want to know. I want the same scrutiny and the same punishment handed down.
The other thing
too
is, with Adam Fennell-Blake, the camera was right on him right there. Whereas with Maguire, it was a long-range camera, and they wouldn't have seen what he said. And you'd want to see him say what he said.
Well, I don't want to know what he said. I don't want to see what he said, but I want the same punishment meted out.
Sure. I agree. No, that's fair.
No, I want a stronger punishment meted out because this guy is a serial offender when it comes to pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, sure.
But the Storm were pretty impressive.
No, they were average.
Yeah, no, they were.
So far, no one has met your expectations this weekend.
No. I thought
I
thought the Raiders were good. And I thought the Roosters were good. That's it.
Yeah. Look, I'm good. I think Melbourne were below par.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they let those tries in late, which I think will concern Bellamy. No Pappenhausen, interestingly, he's still got a Achilles injury. I wonder how bad that is. But they were missing him, so I think that would have made a difference too. Munster scores twice on his birthday.
Twice on his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to him. Wasn't playing nearly, I don't care.
Oh dear. And the last game of the round was the Sharks 22 with the Warriors 14, and honestly the Warriors seemed to panic.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I wanted them to win.
Yeah, and I think everybody else did as well, but they just seemed to panic at that the last pass. It was they were too desperate.
Yeah. And Sean Johnson?
I thought he had a good game.
Well, I was a little bit confused, and one of our regulars posted it on our Facebook page, NRL from the Sidelines. I want to know, he was the captain. Why isn't he allowed to question the ref?
He is.
Why did he get marched?
Probably because he back-chatted.
How was it? Chanel Harris was tackled in the air. Like, isn't he allowed to say, why is that not a penalty to us? Well, you're getting 10. What? I don't get it. Like, that was a bad call.
No, yeah, I think there's more to it than that. I don't think you can say that he was penalised for asking. No, there's more to it.
Maybe he asked a bit more vehemently.
Maybe he was Maguire type asking.
Maybe not quite that badly.
Maybe not that badly.
So the Warriors, very sad that they're not going to make the finals, and I think if any team deserved to make the finals eventually.
It would have been Manly, but they didn't, so it doesn't matter.
Just kill the fairy tale.
Yeah. All right, let's do the ladder. We got the Panthers on top with 33 points. Minor premiership shown up. So
you feel usurped?
I live my days being usurped. It's okay.
Minor premiership sewed up, gentlemen.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
2 games to go, 3 points in front.
They're playing the Dogs and...
No, South got the Dogs this week.
But they played the Dogs last round.
They're playing nobody and nobody. I think.
No, you're right. Yes.
Storm comfortably second place with 30 points.
Yep.
Then we have the Roosters and the Eels on 26. They better not slip over because the Raiders are on 24 right behind them, and that'll take them into 4th place.
Yep.
Rabbitohs on 22. Knights and the Sharks just making up the numbers. And then we have Tigers, Eagles, Warriors, Titans all on 14, Dragons on 12, Cowboys 8, Broncos 6, and the Bulldogs 4. And I'm really hoping the Bulldogs can jag at least 1 win. I know they play Souths and then Penrith. Come on! I'm hoping that Penrith win this week, sew up the minor premiership, and then Ivan goes, you know what? Boys, have a break. You look jaded.
Yes, because I don't want South to lose this week.
Yeah, well, and that's no certainty.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Oh, that they'll lose?
No, that they won't lose.
I finished my bit now.
Yeah.
I'll let you have control again.
All right, thank you. I thought you might just want to continue.
No, all yours.
Okay, let's go on to Thursday night's game. South are playing another Thursday night game where the Rabbitohs are playing the Bulldogs at ANZ Stadium.
I like it. Wow, we should be ground announcers. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't you like to be a ground announcer for Souths?
Yes, I would. I really would.
At the
I'd
stadium.
like to be a ground announcer for Souths. Boring.
Yeah,
boring.
You would never get through the turnstiles. Don't worry.
Boring. Yes, I see.
I don't think the Bulldogs have much of a hope in this one, gentlemen.
Neither do I.
So I'll go the Bunnies.
By how many?
Oh, I think it'll be tighter than you think.
Oh, look, I expect 12 to 14.
Yeah.
I tipped them by 8 only because I've messed up my for and against in the tipping comp.
I forgot to actually tip last week for the first 2 games, and one of them was South. Hey,
and I'm playing the Joker.
I nearly got a perfect round. The Warriors blew it for me.
I'm playing my Joker this week, by the way.
You know what's going to be interesting?
Yep.
The Rabbitohs play the Dogs this weekend.
Yep.
And the Roosters play
the Sharks. Yes.
Kyle Flanagan and Reynolds.
Yep.
I think Kyle Flanagan is 7 points ahead on the top scorer.
Yep.
So and then the Rabbitohs play the Roosters in the last round. So it'll be interesting to see.
It will be interesting, yeah, because you could claw some points back on Kyle Flanagan as well.
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Rabbitohs.
Yeah, I'll have to go Rabbitohs.
Okay, Bunnies for me. Okay, let's go on to the next one, which is Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Cowboys play the Panthers. Do you give the Panthers any hope?
Unless the Panthers rest players, you'd think the Panthers will win this.
The Panthers would rest players, and they will still win.
It depends who they rest.
It doesn't matter. I hope they rest Appy after his concussion last week. That should be a mandatory 1 week off, I think.
I tell you what, if they rest players, I'd actually lean towards the Cowboys.
Well, then you are dreaming.
That wouldn't be the first time, but I'd actually lean to the Cowboys.
This isn't a bad week to use your joke around, Tom.
Well, I've saved it, and I looked ahead about 4 or 5 weeks, and I thought, yep, this is the one.
All right, let's...
Yeah.
You think so? So you're going Panthers, you're going Panthers.
Yeah.
I'll wait and see.
He's going Panthers, ladies and gentlemen.
I probably will. Let's Parramatta Eels and Broncos at Bankwest Stadium.
Well, the Eels have to make a statement here.
Yes,
they have to make a statement. They've got to score, and they've got to score big.
I don't think the Broncos can win. It doesn't matter how badly the Eels play.
I do.
They can. Of course you do. You keep picking them. There's a reason you come and stone motherless last.
The Queensland team, you know.
Hey, listen, you are not far from me, let me tell you. And I keep picking them.
That's because I keep... Yeah, anyway, who are you going to pick?
No, I'm probably going to pick Parramatta, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Broncos win.
I'm going to pick the Slimies, yeah. You?
I'm picking the Eels.
Okay, Manly and Titans at Lotto Land.
Well, I'm tipping you because it's a Lotto Land, but I don't think it's going to be easy for you.
See, I think this is a tough game. Yeah, all the tips so far have been really easy. This one isn't.
Oh, you because you're not going to go on the 8, you could rest players. Oh, hang on, sorry.
Yeah, they're already resting, let me tell you.
Oh, that is funny. You suck.
Brian, Sea Eagles, Titans.
The Sea Eagles will win. Tom will be back.
Yes.
And we've got a great win rate with Tom in the team.
Tom back?
Tom is back.
It's a pity he wasn't back 2 weeks ago.
Tell me about it.
They still wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, we would have.
I don't know. It's Sea Eagles.
Sea Eagles, yeah, I'd probably lean that way as well. Storm and the Tigers.
Storm.
At Sunshine Coast Stadium.
Yeah. Storm.
How many games does Storm play at Sunshine Coast? Seriously,
most of them.
They seem to be. Yeah, geez, they seem to never leave the place.
And Roosters and Sharks at Sydney Cricket Ground.
I think it'll be willing, but the Roosters should win this comfortably.
Sharks be willing. Sharks are hopeless. Sharks wouldn't beat most teams in the bottom, mate.
They're gritty and they get in your face.
Oh,
they tend to like to hit you around.
Hit you around.
Oh yeah, they're just in your face. You know, they're bullies. That's the way they play. It's always the way the Sharks have always played.
Okay, Raiders and Warriors on Sunday at GIO Stadium. And by the way, last weekend was the last of the late night games.
Cool.
So it was back to 2. No, it's not.
I don't like the late night.
Oh, I do because
I don't.
It means I can still do some work in the backyard.
Well, it's hard because my wife wants the television then, and I can't get the television, so I'm sitting on this little screen.
What, you got another TV here?
No, but it doesn't have Fox.
So send her out here.
Raiders and Warriors, gentlemen.
How can she cook my dinner when she's out here?
Good point.
Careful. Like
Raiders.
Does she watch this?
No. Raiders.
Yes.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one to end these Knights and Dragons. You're going to say, who cares?
Well, if Ponga's back, you'd have to say the Knights will win this. But I think the Dragons, who knows what their thought process will be.
What worries me about right now in a lot of these games is that a lot of these teams have nothing left to play for. Knights do, Souths do.
Which is why you have to pick the Knights.
Yeah, which is why I have to pick the Knights.
The concern for the Knights is Adam O'Brien has had a few sprays this week. Last Saturday night, he sat in the dressing room after the game and gave him an absolute pasting.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that wears off after a while. Look at Madge Maguire. And Adam O'Brien comes from the Bellamy stable where he flies off the handle. You watch him in the commentary.
Yeah, I know. But he's admitted he goes off a little bit too hard.
He came to the Roosters for last year and he said, I can't believe how calm it is. He said, they're so calm. When things are going wrong, he said, they're so calm. I'm used to Bellamy spitting on the glass and throwing things around and... Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. So,
anyway.
Gentlemen, that's it. We have a top 8 set. We have the games done for next week. Anything you want to end the show with? Anything intelligent you want to end the show with?
I want to pass my congratulations on to Braden Frost.
Okay, tell us who Braden Frost is.
Braden Frost is one of our regular listeners, posters. He is in our Super League fantasy team, fantasy comp. And
Braden Towers.
Yeah, Braden Frost. Braden Towers, yes. And he...
Trying to work out...
Braden Frosty, Braden Towers, yes.
He kicked my backside last week.
Now, well.
To make the semi-finals, and I must admit, it was only because Ponga and Barnett did not play, otherwise I would have had him. But they didn't, so congratulations.
But you didn't change your team then?
Yeah, I did, but I had too many injuries.
Sounds like me.
I traded out the injuries and hoped for the best.
Right.
Tom, anything you want to end the show with?
Go the Battlers.
Oh yeah, go Manly.
The Battlers from Bondi.
That's just sad.
Seriously, I hate that. That hurts me.
I love it.
It's so untrue. Anyway, that's it.
This is NRL from the Sidelines. Thanks for watching. You with Tom, Brian and Steve, and we'll do it all again next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.